feeling like I'm Akademiks. Can't ride no wave.
This Durk situation is getting really dire. I want to explain to you guys about the realistic thing that we have to come to terms with when it comes to Lil Durk. Lil Durk currently is down 40 points. There's 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Now, wasn't the Knicks down like some crazy number? Like 35 or something, and they made a comeback? Wow. But I want to give you guys a realistic thing of what's happening with Durk. Now, I want to let you know, and let's start off Rip with saying this. Recently, a judge ruled in his favor. This was a big win for Durk. They said you can't just trump, because at the last minute, it was the month before the trial, prosecutors said, well, we have some killers in another case, but it's a case that's 2 dudes allegedly killed a guy that supposedly killed Durk's brother, D-Thing. Those guys have pled guilty. They're down to testify. They're down to snitch on Schmerkio. Let's throw that murder on there. They wanted to add a separate murder, not only for Lil Pop, but another murder that was originating out of Chicago. His Durk won a legal battle with that. They said you should have came with it before. That's what the judge said to the government. And they said it prejudices his trial. And because he has the right to have a speedy trial, this and third, you can't include this murder into what he has going on now. So the indictment you have, we're going to strip 2 of the counts. What does that mean? The good thing for Durk is that when Durk goes on trial, he's primarily battling the murder of SR, which is known to us as Lil Pop, which is Quando Rondo's cousin. He's charged with murder for hire. He's charged with a conspiracy of stalking and carrying out the murder. A lot of people feel maybe he could beat this. The government feels otherwise. But let's give him the best scenario. And I want to, the reason why I'm saying Durk is down 40, we have to not throw caution to the wind here. Even if Durk beats this case, according to the judge ruling, the prosecutors could do what they did to Boosie. It's actually very different, but essentially, they're going to try him again for murder. This time it's for the Chicago shit. So Durk is probably not going to get out of some legal trouble. It's 2026. I say 2029. Or at least 2028 at the minimum. And his trial's about to start now. Because even if he beats it, the judge, in how he separated, he didn't dismiss the counts in the indictment. He separated it. And he basically told the prosecutors, if you want to try him for that other murder or other things that he did with that other murder that you claim you have those guys ready to snitch on him, you got to do a whole different trial. Which means Durk not only has to beat 1 murder trial, he got to beat 2. That is what people aren't realizing currently with Durk. He not only has to beat 1 criminal trial. Technically, if the government schedules and goes ahead with the other 2 counts that were separated, that would be a whole different trial. So they get 2 shots of frying Durk. Essentially, Durk got to go 15 of 15 from the field, all 3-pointers, just to beat this unscathed. If we want to see Durk maybe back on the streets end of 2027, 2028. 2 trials. We're getting to find out a lot of things about even the second case. And I know we're all focused on the first case now because, that's the one that's in front of us. But the second case is very important. It actually reminds me of a Durk lyric. Okay? What's that Durk song? What's that Durk song? What's that Durk song? What's the song where he says you put their name in a song? What's the name of that? What's the name of that song? No. He's like, you put their name in a song, got him hot or something like that. What's the name of that song? What's the name of that song? I'm forgetting it. Is it Hellcats and Trackhawks? What's the name of that song? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Should have ducked. Thank you. It should have ducked. It should have ducked. Should have ducked. Here we go. Now, the lyrics for this song is very important. I'm going to tell you why it's important, right? He jumps out with, throw that mask on when you jump out first, you better blast. V don't like this shit slow on hits. Them switches fast. Ain't gonna lie, the city hot with strikers. They don't last. When you pop in with your killers, you better check your gas. We don't party on other blocks. They fuck with other ops. They come around your gang that got your brother shot. You say his name inside a song that got your brother hot, then leave him hanging without a lawyer. That shit dumb as fuck. This is gonna be very important, chat. You see, Durk, while I love Durk, so I'm gonna say he was just, even though damn these songs sound like reality, I'll just say he was capping. He was just capping. He was just rapping. It just happened to come. He was just rapping. But I'll say this: Durk, his own lyrics was prophecy. His own lyrics was prophecy. Durk has caught this second murder case, or the second conspiracy case that revolves around murder, that even if he beats the little pop shit, he has to sit for, or he has to answer to. I can't see the government saying, all right, you beat one murder. You buy one murder, get one free. Nah, it doesn't work like that. Here's how his lyrics will come back to him. Because remember the second case that they're trying to throw Durk into, that he got the extra counts for? Let me tell you a little about it. Those were the two guys who killed the guy in the snow. Remember, we watched the video? They chased the guy down and shot him in the snow. That was Stephon Mack. That was the guy they said was responsible for D-Thing dying. Okay. Remember, they said these guys, these were the smartest shooters ever. They were texting, hey, did Durk give you the money yet? You know, we killed a nigga. Like, when are we getting paid? Like, what's up? Like, what's up with OTF and them niggas? And one guy said, nah, he coming to town to shoot some shit. We supposed to get it then. We supposed to get that bread then. Well, let me put you on a little bit more game. Keep in mind, it appears that they never got the money. Okay? Well, actually, it appears like they probably did. Just there's no trail of it because Durk brought $1 million to the hood and they showed up to the video. That video was for, I think it was an AHA video, but regardless, that's when he did the interview. Okay, he did an interview with Gillian Waldo. Anyway, let me get to the point. The point is this. Those two shooters, based on their lack of support once got arrested, the feds came down on them heavy. They have no good lawyers. They have no good support, no good resources. Both of the shooters have pled guilty. And if you plead guilty to murder and murder for hire, it assumes that you're down to testify and you're folded. Now, why is this line prophetic? You leave him hanging without a lawyer, that shit dumb as fuck. Most likely, because Durk should have at least paid for some lawyers or something for these niggas. Because these guys took the bait. They bit the cheese. If Durk had some lawyers there, this is what he doesn't need right now. Hey, you could have paid a couple $100,000. Yo, I don't care if them niggas get found guilty. Fight that case. Fight that shit. I'm paying for it. Fight that case. The feds could have never added this to Durk's docket. If these guys were fighting the case, they could have never added it to Durk's docket. They need these guys to tell for them to say it was Durk. So if Durk had with them with a good lawyer, even if them boys is on camera, they're calling each other name out. Yo, AJ, like it's audible as fuck. Nigga, we can see your fat ass from a mile away. You're going to jail. But at least if Durk had these niggas with an attorney that they feel they got a fighting chance, you know what would have happened? They wouldn't be cooperating. Your lawyer would be telling you what's going on. You could have your lawyer like, yo, make sure you tell him there ain't no deal. Fuck a deal. We taking it to the box. Even though, you know, they're getting fried. Like, they're getting french fried. For your own sake, you can't have them testify because they bring you into their shit. That's why you got to pay for their lawyers. No, it's not AJ. No, one of the guy name is AJ. AJ Montgomery. No, it's not actually AJ. Seriously, do you get what I'm saying? So that is the operative thing of why Durk is going through it. When you have shooters, when you have people who slide for you, you got to get the killer's bond. When the killer feels like you can't help him no more, they kind of send a kite home and they're like, yo, so what Smirkio say with that lawyer? We tired of using this public defender. Says Smirkio don't got no money for you now, nigga. You know what they gonna tell their public defender? Set up a meeting with that motherfucking AUSA, that prosecutor. The point I'm saying is that, have y'all ever watched The Wire? And I know it's a movie or, you know, it's a show. It's supposed to be, you know, don't take it too serious, but it's a really good depiction and a really good, like, you know, analogous look into how real life works. You know, when they were like, yo, all right, the lawyer is going to structure everybody. Like, yo, everybody gets a lawyer, but it's the main lawyer or the top guy who's doing it. Unfortunately, that's kind of how it has to happen. I won't even lie to you. That's kind of what happened in the YSL case, quiet as it's kept. You didn't see everybody just let Brian Steele do what he want to do? I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, in whatever way, you won't hear it be mentioned. It was an understanding. Yo, Thug gonna help us out with some legal fees, but when his lawyer talk, we all shut the fuck up. We don't do private, and that's what they found out with Brian Steele. Remember when Brian Steele got arrested or almost got arrested in court? Brian Steele basically showed how much he had the lawyers for other people in his pocket when he basically confronted the court with information that only another lawyer could have found out, not him. So he's like, how'd you find that out? He's controlling the whole play. Every lawyer reports to Brian Steele. That's how it works. That's how, if you're going to be in a conspiracy, if you the big boss head honcho, you got to pay the bill, but you got to let everybody report to you. That's how you work. That's how you beat these conspiracies. So this is what I'm saying with Durk. I don't know about Durk ordering people to be killed. But if you did order people to be killed, if you did, or let's take it off of that. If you were in the mindset of ordering people to be in a gang for you and they had to slide for you or anything that is conspiracy where they have you as a leader, you better be making some money, because when it comes to court, if your lawyer ain't in and roundabout control of the other lawyers that's representing the other people, you know what's going to happen? It's what happened to Durk. Durk showed up to court with 7 defendants. Now he's in court with only 4. Half of the defendants flipped. Why they flipped? Vonnie was there at first. Vonnie doesn't come to court no more. There's another nigga that was there. He don't come to court no more. Why does that happen? Everybody's jumping off the bus. Everybody got their own situations. Everybody. You see, if Durk paid for everybody's legal issues, this is what Durk's lawyer would have told him. Listen, nobody say a motherfucking word. I'm going to run this play. Okay? We're taking it to the box, Durk included. We're all beating the shit. We're all beating the shit. We're following all the motions. You. We're in it together. And you got to do it that we're in it together, because here's the thing. When they do these racketeering or these conspiracy charges, they want the guy at the top. So the best way to fuck up the guy at the top is getting everybody along the pyramid as it goes down to defect. Hey, we know you weren't down with killing SR. We know you just booked some flights. We know you just dropped a motherfucker off today, Airbnb. We know you're not in it. Cooperate with us here. We'll get you the fuck on out of here. Matter of fact, you don't even show back up to court. You'll start doing your time today. We're going to suggest you do 3 years. The case ain't even going to be done till then. When the case starts, you walk out. You know what these motherfuckers is thinking? Shit, I ain't talked to Durk in months, man. That nigga ain't paying for nothing for me. Like, my mama put her house up. Like, my mama had to go back to work. All that, the OTF, like, emergency funds is done. Shit. That's what's happened, chat. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. I want to give a blanket warning for all of the gangsters who don't like pulling the trigger yourself. And this goes for rappers, because rappers love bragging about they sent the hit. They put money on the head. Fuck having lawyer and bond money for yourself. If you don't got that shit for your shooters too, and it's more than bond money, and it's more than lawyer money. If you don't got that money to make his baby mama stop fucking complaining to him on a jail phone, to have his mama stop crying and complaining on a jail phone, his ass is going to flip on you. So just know how much money you going to need. Ration it out. Oh, you got 20 shooters? You might want to do 200,000 a head. Because trust me, the baby mama coming like you're the baby father now. You know who's going to convince the nigga to snitch on you? Go back and look in the YSL case. It was the baby mamas who was on the phone with these niggas like, you remember Slime Line Shorty? His baby mama was telling him, why don't you just tell the people what they want to know and get up on out of there? Your kid is out here, nigga. Tell the people what they want to know. You know you ain't do nothing. Tell the people what they want to know and come out of jail. You just leaving us out there. And trust me, all this hand signals and crip walking, blood dancing, BD banging, GD. When your girl on the phone with you and she calling you all type of bum and gay for you holding it down for the gang and you locked up, Young Thug was lucky. That's why I'm surprised when he's like mad at Yak Gotti. Yak Gotti told, but in the past. The people who took it to the box with Thug, he should forever owe him something. Yo, Young Thug had a wing of the jail to himself. A wing. They gave the nigga a suite in jail. You ever heard this? A suite. There's nobody. Nigga had no cellmate. No bunkie. When he go out, he's just chilling. A suite. You're over here fighting with niggas. You ain't see the other YSL niggas that was getting locked up? They fighting with niggas. Niggas is recording videos of them getting beat up, stabbed up. Young Thug is over here feet up. Granted, it's not the best decor. It's still a metal toilet. But Young Thug's having a great old time. He's talking to 5 bitches a day. He got girls crying over him. He's like over here laughing at Drake and Metro. He's having a good time. The rest of them niggas was in GP getting stabbed and chased whole time. Of course, remember when he was like, yeah, I think it's been that I was in PC. He was like, okay, you weren't in PC, but you were in general population with nobody. Okay, all right. He was in general population. The population was 0. The population was 0. Okay, population 0. Okay. But that's the point what I'm trying to say. If we remember those calls and we remember some of those interactions, it was the baby mamas and the family members that started to remind the guys who were going down essentially for Thug, hey, this guy is not taking care of everything for you to be standing this tall. You know damn well he's the millionaire. He'll be fine. But you're over here keeping your mouth quiet. They're accusing you of murder, this and third. You know you ain't kill a goddamn person. And you know the government know that too. They just need you to tell them what they want to know. So that's what's happened with the Durk situation. Unfortunately, it's too late. So I'm giving the blanket warning for all the gangsters in hip hop. If you like sending hits, putting money on niggas' heads, make sure you have the insurance in cash. That when all 20 of y'all get arrested, all 15 of y'all, or all 10 of y'all, the guys who did the dirty work for you that you're hoping is not going to snitch on you, when their baby mama call, y'all need $1,500. Somebody hits her off of $1,500. When the mama call and say, yo, they cut off the water and I can't pay the rent, somebody hits her with the $3,000. When the guy basically has to sit in these hearings with the judge and the judge is saying, hey, submit your application, I could get you a public defender. And you go into the joint court hearing and you see Young Thug with 8 lawyers around him. And you see yourself with 1. Or let's go in the case of Durk. You see around Durk's table, you got Brian Steele, Drew Finland. You have his Chrissy O'Connor. You got another. Durk has 7 lawyers. You there by yourself. This nigga don't even got his shirt tucked in his pants. He just graduated. He just graduated and passed the bar. He's a public defender. He's in way over his head. You're looking at it like, damn, Durk files 55 motions in court. You look at your lawyer is over here taking notes like he's still thinking in law school. At a certain point, someone gonna tell you, if you don't stop fucking around and come home, if you don't stop fucking around and keep thinking that OTF shit is going to be the end all be all, why you don't got a lawyer? Why your mama not taken care of? How come they're not going for bond for you? Somebody going to convince that person they're the fall guy. And trust me, in these days and ages, ain't nobody being the fall guy. It ain't happening. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. So, unfortunately, I hate to tell you, but you know, in my amateur opinion, one of the reasons why Durk is going to have, they claim over a dozen, actually they say 35 witnesses. Have you ever seen some shit like this? 35 witnesses against Durk. The judge is going to be 35 witnesses. Let's go through some of the charges. Interstate stalking resulting in death. Interstate stalking of a rival using a dangerous weapon. Conspiracy to commit murder for hire resulting in death. Use of interstate facilities to commit murder for hire resulting in death. Murder in aid of racketeering. Conspiracy to commit interstate stalking and firearms machine gun offenses in furtherance of a crime and violence. The important thing to know is that there's 35 people, 35 witnesses. 35 witnesses that's ready to testify against Durk. Doesn't mean all the snitches. Some could be detectives, some could be other forensic experts. They're saying 20 of them has important information towards the case. Some of the music will be admissible. The judge actually made a ruling that it's gonna, hurt Durk again. By the way, I heard the prosecutors are bringing their subwoofers. They're bringing their party lights. They're going to be teaching the gallery and the jury how to throw up, how to drop the rakes, throw up the gang signs before they hear the songs. They claim that this song will be used. They claim that this was an open source call to action for people to go murder in revenge of King Von. This song is called Piss Me Off. It's one of my favorite bops. I can't even lie. They said they're bringing the subwoofer to court for this. They want to make sure, when them beats start dropping, niggas start turning up in court. Woo! Listen, they're going to be able to take every part of these music videos where someone throws up a hand symbol to match when they throw up another hand symbol among other people, and to make a point to say this was clearly a collective thing where they're all in the same gang. This was a criminal enter. They're also going to point out that the song is, the backdrop is talking about D-Thing. I think it literally says D-Thing. 3 words. Long live D-Thing. Oh, shit. This is my joint. I ain't gonna lie. If I was from Chicago, I would have picked up a pole too. Like, I mean, I would have slid. I ain't gonna count with you.
Why you niggas posting true?
Now, that's gonna be important. Why you niggas posting son? Why you niggas posting true? Now, I believe Sun is I think that's King Von's kid. Right? I think that's King Von's kid. Yeah. So Sun is the one on the left, and True is the one on the right. Right here. So Durk is in the song saying, he says, I lost bro and I can't be happy till we creep up on the skull. By the way, this should sound fire with a beat. It will not sound good with the gavel as the fucking 808 in court. It won't. Why you niggas posting son, why you niggas posting true? Now, the government got this song approved because they said this song is a CTA to rally up people to commit violence in aid of a revenge plot. So they're going to say it in court. Well, at one point, Durk is asking, why are you posting this guy's kids? Why are you acting like you support us? And if you do, hop in the coop. They're calling that a call to action. The judge actually did approve the song to be played. This is like step by step. Grab a gun. If you ain't with it, you could just put up money for a gun. This is pretty good instructions. Grab a gun, and if you ain't with it, put up money for a gun. I'm going to fall in the, I ain't with it, so I'm going to put up the money for the gun. Okay? All right. Yo, now I'm with this. Put up money for a hot car. Put up money for a bond. God damn, this is a this is a tutorial of sorts, huh? So if you're not going to grab the gun, put up money for the gun, put up money for the hot car, or put up money for a bond.
See you on the regular, but I see you screaming Vaughn.
You said, I don't see you on the regular, but I'm seeing you screaming Vaughn. Basically saying, how come I'm not seeing you make moves, but you keep screaming Vaughn? Said, boy, no cap. I got killers that I love, and they don't rap. Boy, no cap. I got rappers that I love, and they gonna splat. If he die, just don't lie. You niggas better slide. And if you can't get the main nigga, then you better get his guys. I mean, shit. This shit gonna sound like, if you can't get the main guy, which is Quando Rondo, you got to get his guys. Happens to be the cousin, huh? That too. My favorite gun to switch. You know, this shit's a cannon. Okay? Apparently one of the guns that was used in the murder was a fully automatic weapon, which would be in line with the idea of a switch. We will see. So that is affecting Durk. You know, I think to a certain reasonable level, Durk could play, he could play defense a bit. And he do got some of the best criminal defenders in the world. Hey, this guy's the guy who murdered him. How are you going to believe him saying I paid him? This guy just wants to get out of jail. I think that's going to work to a certain extent. I always just come down to the, how many killers do they admitted killers do they have to put on the stand? That if they're all pointing at Durk, that the jury is going to be like, yeah, there's like 5 killers pointing at Durk. But you know what? We still need more convincing. Maybe that works. But it is becoming increasingly worrisome. Increasingly. Because all of these guys are folding. And unfortunately, this was something I remember Durk was taking aim at Chief Keef when he was like, yo, you put their name in a song, you got them hot. And you didn't pay for a lawyer. Well, Durk, that might come back to bite you because it appears that, you know, maybe you were paying for their lawyers when you were free, but now that you're arrested with them, it doesn't seem like you are. And now is the time they need it because they're facing that murder along with you. And yes, they might be caught dead to rights because they're the shooter and they're caught on camera. But if they could escape life in prison and get 20 to 25, these guys are murderers anyway. They'll walk that down, as they say. They'll walk the 25, 30 years down. Some of these guys are in their late 20s. Yeah, they're like, all right, I'll get out at 45, 50. I'm good. But in trading that time, they're sending you for life. Because make no mistake about it, if anyone is convicted of conspiracy to commit murder, there is no 30-year sentence. It's life in prison unless they elect for death penalty, but they haven't said they wanted the death penalty. So it appears that the snitches are probably saying, give me that 30 years, I'm going to walk that bitch down. These guys, some of them in their 20s, maybe 30s, they're like, yo, good behavior, all these programs, 85%. They give me 30 years. I'm going to do 25. We've been locked up already for like 4 to 5. Not 4 to 5, but like 3. I might just have to do a 20 piece. I get back out. I'm 48. I'm so fucking bitches. I'm still good. Now they might call me a rat. But fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Meanwhile, they're going to try to do to Durk what they did to TK. They're going to give Durk the TK treatment, where they put so much numbers on the board. You ever seen a football game so lopsided you have to look at the teams again and be like, is this basketball? What the fuck? How team score 77? What the hell? One of those. They might give Schmerkio some numbers that look so ridiculous. It's called a TK special. When they're done putting them numbers and you add it up, oh, you got to serve 300 years. What? 300? We ain't talking about GBE? We ain't talking about what? What the fuck? Oh, yes, Schmerk, you're getting that 600. What? We ain't talking about Breezy? What we talking about? We talking about what? What? I love Durk, but they are, if it's looking the way it's looking, the snitches are trying to take their 30 piece. They're going to tell on them. But they're trying to make sure Durk got to die for the streets. That's what it's looking like. He's going to have to take the life imprisonment for all the rats he used to rock with to walk out of jail. And I got no place calling these guys rats because they were the killers. But this is how things are now. The guys who pull the triggers are the first to tell. It is what it is. I'm telling y'all, if you're a Durk fan and you watch me, I'm not saying these things to piss you off. I don't want optimism that's just delusional. I want you to know right now, come the start of this trial, which will be happening in a few days, Durk's team has to play out of their mind. If you thought Diddy's team had to play out of their mind in terms of defending him, this Durk case is way more. Even though, yes, it will be based on a lot of hearsay. He said, she said. It's a lot of them snitches. And after he's done with this case, there's another. And it seems like they're brewing up a third one. Because remember that shooting that happened at the crib? That you even mentioned? I'd rather give my gun to India if I put it in your hand, right? That was talking about the shooting that was at his Brazelton, Georgia house Lil Durk. The shooting that we saw body cam for, police have theorized that this body cam is related to Lil Durk's criminal history and related to the gang warfare, and they introduced it. Okay? Let me see if I can find it. They introduced it, but the government said, or the judge, nah, take that out. Because they want to introduce this and also the Chicago stuff, and the government said, take that out. Let me see if we can. Yeah, so they were gonna add the one with Stephon Mack for Killing D thing. They were gonna add the one for King Von, and then they were gonna add crap. I'm trying to find it. They wanted to add the shooting at his house. I'm trying to find it. They took it out though. Lil Durk. Let me see. I probably have to look at the documents. Lil Durk, India. Let me just shoot. But the cops were trying to tie this to more things. Okay? I'll go to Durk all day, which, by the way, also... Okay. So there's a fourth superseding indictment. The third one was actually, it was severed. Okay. They have jury instructions. Didi joined. So Didi hasn't flipped yet. Also, here's the interesting part about Durk's phone. They apparently seized the phone from Durk, and in seizing the phone from Durk, the cops have said to this date they cannot get into the phone to get all the possible evidence they think is there. Okay? They're saying, let me read through this. Okay. So Durk wanted to suppress the phone. They said that the seizure of the phone wasn't lawful. They said that Durk admitted firing his gun. That alone gave, okay. Interesting. That's why. My bad. I probably got to read this. This is document 537. Okay, bet. Okay. Okay. Perfect. So that's what happened. So when this happened, chat, this incident happened. This happened in, I believe, 2021, right? I believe so. Okay, give me 1 second. I just want to get the timestamp on it. Why can't we see the timestamp? Yeah, it was 2021 though. Okay. So what happened was, I think they seized Durk's phone. So they seized Durk's phone after this incident. Okay? And when they seized this phone after this incident, they've kind of hung on to it and still trying to investigate it. Right? So Durk is trying to suppress this phone. The government is saying that phone probably got evidence of the other criminal stuff he was doing, because the crimes were spanning in that time. So we needed to take his phone anyway, and we seized it for some other shit, which was the shooting at his house. Durk is saying, no, you took it for one reason, and that reason shouldn't even be took, so you can't, it's called fruit of the poisonous tree. You can't whatever you would even find on the phone or even taking my phone at all, you can't just take my phone and use it for any case in the future. It doesn't work like that. You can't just keep hold of my phone and then come up with 10 other cases. And then when you find a legit case, you're like, oh, okay, open your phone now. It doesn't work like that. That also worked with Young Thug. Young Thug got one of his phone suppressed and got it back after it was ruled that when his phone got seized, when they searched his house, they couldn't get in the phone for a couple years. And then it was later found out he wasn't going to get charges or he settled whatever legal issues. And the government or the judges said, y'all could return his property. They never returned his property. So they had to force the government, his lawyers had to force the judge to have them hand the phone back, and they were still pussyfooting around with the phone. Then he gets indicted for the RICO, and then they want to use the phone. And essentially they got it suppressed by saying, we should have gotten that phone back. You can't keep my phone in custody and just keep finding cases when the first thing y'all took it for, basically, there's no charges emanating from that. So that's kind of what Durk is trying to say, saying, hey, y'all got no charges related to that case. Y'all couldn't get in the phone or didn't find nothing of substance. You can't use anything from the phone. And you know what the feds are going to say? Well, we think the phone had stuff to do with this current case, just a smaller version of it, right? Because now they're charging with damn near conspiracy. They argue that even if the warrant didn't cover this, the seizure was justified as the police were lawfully in the house. They could see the phone and they had good reason, his felony, his gang ties, and him not being cooperative, to believe it had evidence that could be destroyed. They further argued, this is the government, that if there was some flaw, it doesn't taint what came later. The second Georgia warrant explicitly said the police could keep a digital copy for later use. So holding on to it for years wasn't a problem it was authorized in writing. They also argued that the FBI agents who got the 2026 warrant had nothing to do with the 2021 seizure. They weren't a part of the investigation. They didn't make the seizure and got their own independent warrant based on their own independent probable cause. They said the contents of the phone that they could find right now is screenshot of the messages discussing TL release on bond. What's TL? Who's TL, chat? TL release on bond. Who's TL? Does anyone know who TL is? Who's TL? Is that Lil Tim? Okay, all right. Okay, yeah, all right. So let me look at Lil Tim's name. Lil Tim, real name. Okay, Timothy Leaks. Yep. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So they're saying that Durk had screenshots of messages discussing Lil Tim's release on bond. So it looked like he wanted Lil Tim getting clapped too. And he was getting the address of his house arrest. So he wanted to know where Lil Tim was going to be at. Yo, Durk was on a bad timing. Yo, Durk was on bad timing, chat. I ain't even going to lie to you. Durk was trying to kill a nigga on house arrest. Durk was trying to go see a nigga on house arrest, bruv. Durk was gonna see the nigga on house arrest. This nigga Durk is on a different type of timing. Okay. So he wanted the address of the house. Yo, Durk is one of them niggas, he gonna get you in your crib, nigga. Yo, Durk is a different type of demon. Durk can't wait. Yo, Durk realized that he couldn't catch Quando at a show. He said, fine, we're gonna catch you in your crib. Nigga, we gonna catch you by your refrigerator. Fuck it. Nigga, we gonna catch you in the shower, nigga. Fuck it. We ain't got time for this shit, man. We ain't got time. Yo, all of that slide for Durk shit, man, Durk was trying to get GPS coordinates, nigga. Durk was literally trying to get Durk was. You want some coordinates, call? Like, that you can read on the globe? You know what I'm talking about. What them shits called? That you can read on the globe. It's like Breaking Bad, nigga. It's like Breaking Bad. Like, that's what Durk was on. What's them shits called? What's them shits called, Chad? Latitude and longitude, nigga. Like, yo, this nigga Durk was on some different type of shit. This nigga had the latitude and longitude to this nigga living room, yo. This nigga Durk wanted that nigga dead bad. Yo, this nigga had a UAV. Yo, what's up with this nigga Durk? I'm gonna be honest with you. After seeing this, y'all don't feel bad for telling Durk to slide. Nigga, Durk was trying everything he could to slide, nigga. Like, yo, I'm sorry. Yo, this is why when 6ix9ine said he tricked Durk off the street. I ain't gonna lie. All y'all niggas owe Durk an apology. This nigga Durk was trying everything he possibly could to kill him niggas. Everything, nigga. Yo, catch him at a gas station. Yo, they drive an electric car. They don't get gas. Catch him at a corner store. Yo, they live in Savannah. They don't go. Yo, catch him at the show. Nigga, they cancel the show. Yo, go get his ankle monitor. Yo, this nigga Durk was on a different type of timing, nigga. Yo, he in LA. Yo, book the flight to LA. Like, we going to LA. I'm not gonna be honest with you. I've never seen a nigga more determined to get a nigga dead. He wanted the address on Lil Tim's house arrest. He was posting screenshots of advertising TB's Taekwon Bowman, which is Quando Rondo's show. He had screenshots of social media posts saying that TB was shot at in Georgia. Yo, Durk was thirsty, man. Nah, Durk was thirsty, gang. Durk was thirsty, bruv. What? Nah, Durk was thirsty, bro. Nah, this is insane. Hold on. Nah, this is insane. Hold on. Hold up. Let me see if I can find it. Give me 1 second. Oh, no, this is not by the phone. It's not by the phone. No. Wait, why are we at 54? No, it's 133. What the hell? Wait, what? Oh, no, it's at 130. Okay. This one, my bad. This is it. This is it, chat. Okay. So they told me how they seized the phone. The Brazeltown County shootout on July 11th. Remember? He used to live in Brazelton. On the morning of July 11th, local law enforcement responded to a suspected home invasion of the defendant's home. When officers arrived, the defendant was not at the residence. So officers conducted a protective sweep where they found evidence that multiple firearms had been used in what amounted to a shootout at the time. Specifically, officers found spent shells in and around the house, suspected narcotics near a large bag of money on a bed, and a declaration of blah, 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 said forth. Law enforcement did not believe the defendant was forthcoming in the investigation, including the defendant's claim that he merely shot his firearm into the air as the home invasion suspects fled. The officers learned additional information that warranted additional investigation on the defendant's conduct. They seized this phone, okay? So later that morning, okay, including ASAC Lisa Vorasi, were contacted by the Brazelton law enforcement regarding the suspected home invasion. At the time, ASAC Vorasi was a veteran with the GBI and with extensive experience working on violent crime firearm offenses, including gang-related crime. A part of the investigation, they assigned 2 gang detectives to the case, and given Banks' known membership in the Black Disciples criminal gang, that's what they did. During investigators' initial investigation and protective sweep of the property, investigators learned that there was a gunfight between Banks and a family member. See? Chat, remember, didn't I tell you that? Banks and a family member won. Ooh, remember when I told y'all this shit it sounded funny? And y'all were like, stop snitching. Bro, the cops know everything, gang. That was not no op that ran up in there. Look, you see what the cops are saying now? That was a gunfight between Banks and family member one who lived with the defendant at the time. On one hand, multiple suspects, on the one hand, and never mind. Ooh, never mind. Okay, now I'm tripping. My bad. Rewind. My bad. I'm wrong. Banks and family, no, this is India they're talking about. My bad. Sorry. My bad. They said Banks and family member, they didn't put India's name in there. I thought they were saying between Banks and somebody in the crib. Because there's no forced entry. A home invasion with no forced entry is a backdoor, or like how the ops get in the crib. That's either a backdoor or, Anyway, whatever. So Banks and India, who live with them, on one hand, and multiple suspected home intruders on the other. Sorry. So, let's go with law enforcement, whatever you say. Law enforcement learned that both the defendant Banks and the member admitted to fire their weapons. India and Durk fired, including defendant Banks' admission he fired his weapon into the air 5 or 6 times. As a suspected intruder fled, and investigators saw multiple firearms in the backyard of the residence and multiple spent carriage inside the home. Approximately 11 a.m. that morning, they received a criminal history of defendant Banks, which identified he was a 2-time convicted felon, and with the defendant Banks' criminal history attached. I wonder why they didn't charge him with felon in possession, but they probably have a bunch of what do you call it again? It's called the Castle Doctrine. It's kind of interesting. Castle Doctrine is like almost like a universal law that even in cities and states, like for example, even New Jersey, where guns are like really heavily restricted, it says when you're in your house, it's a place that it's your castle and you could defend yourself. But it's even more liberal. It's even way better than like a stand your ground when it comes to like places like Georgia. It basically means you go in somebody's crib, they should kill you. One of those. So even though technically he's a felon, he shouldn't have a gun. The Castle Doctrine probably weighs more in favor of the law enforcement not charging him, right? Because it's not like this guy had a gun outside of his house. Intruders came in, then he used the gun, right? Castle Doctrine, he's protecting his life, his well-being, everybody around him in his house. It's a little bit different. Okay. They wanted to search afternoon they got a search warrant for the house. Wow. So they did a search warrant on the house. Relevant here, the warrant authorizes seizure of of electronic devices and personal belongings of the perpetrator may have left behind. That would aid in identification of the perpetrators. Okay. So that's why Durk wants it suppressed. So it looked like they took a phone that was initially meant to be the phone of the perpetrators or the home intruders, right? Okay. In support of the warrant, it's submitted, blah, blah, blah. The police responded, okay. The defendant were reluctant to allow investigators to search a home and their car for evidence related to the crime. Okay. They claimed they didn't know why they would be targets of a home invasion. There was a large amount of money on the bed. Leach concluded the affidavit by stating that investigators sought the warrant to determine the scope or location or extent for the crimes which were committed inside the residence, identify the perpetrators involved, and to help establish a motive for why the listed crimes were committed that resulted in that. Okay, cool. During the search, they seized 10 firearms. Damn, okay. Durk had them blicks. Durk had them blicks. 10 guns. Numerous rounds of different calibers, ammunition. Tell me that nigga Durk had a crate of grenade on some like poo shiesty shit, man. Durk's the GOAT if he did. Got 10 guns. Cartridge casings were found in multiple locations, including multiple casings where defendant Banks stated he fired multiple shots into the air. Based on the magistrate judge authorization to seize digital devices to search relating to the reckless conduct or evidence to search for the motive of the gunfight, they understood that law enforcement had the authority to seize digital devices from Banks' bedroom. Moreover, based on the facts, at the time, Banks' felony status is member the firing of his weapon. They believed that he had good faith to seize the phone to preserve the evidence to prevent destruction of evidence related to the gunfight. Okay, so they get a warrant for the phone. Okay. All right. The defendant told the investigator they both fired the guns. Defendant Banks are convicted of felonies. Okay, okay, good. Finally, the affidavit said digital copies of device will be created and retained as evidence for further proceedings and made to proper authorities. After completion of the case, the evidence will be sealed and retained in a evidence storage for later discovery and trial purposes. Oh, so whatever happened, they were going to seal it unless they were going to go forward with trying to charge Durk. Interesting. Durk's lawyer must have been involved because remember, Durk kind of has been on like probation or something like that. So like anything with him, could really violate, but looked like they sealed last year, right? Other than those would be required for prosecution under the law will be displayed to any person or others disclosed or copied. FBI obtains a forensic extraction of the phone this year. So 5 years later, they obtain a forensic extraction from the GBI and they searched it pursuant to a new warrant. So on the 26th, they informed the defense counsel to be filed a third superseding indictment and alleged that this murder that was on 2022 as part of the government ongoing investigation into Durk trying to kill Durk trying to kill other people, including, the Chicago stuff. The FBI had now expanded their investigation, and now they want to use the Georgia stuff, okay, to inquire if they could be provide FBI with a copy of the declaration, okay, cool. They shipped GBI shipped via mail a hard drive containing 2 extractions, 2 days later, the FBI obtained a federal search warrant to seize evidence from the digital extractions related to this murder and suspected racketeering activities of the banks. Okay. Following week, the government produced extractions to the defense. During a search of the extraction of defendant Banks' home, law enforcement identified and seized multiple images relating towards revenge of killing TB and TL, so Lil Tim and Quando, and his close relatives who shot and killed Bennett, which is Vaughn, on November 6, 2020. These images included, screenshots discussing this, his release on bond, getting the address where he'll be on house arrest with metadata showing when around the time of the release, screenshot posters of his concert, the concert where multiple co-conspirators are alleged to have ambushed him at a gas station and shot it up, a screenshot of social media posting, documenting that he was shot at in Black Bear, Georgia, Blackshear. So that's a second time they tried to kill him. And defendant's phone with the attachment. Okay. All right. So based on the law enforcement review of the extraction report for the cell phone at issue, investigators determined that the phone was in a before first unlocked state at the time it was extracted, which may result in an extraction containing limited data for review, including partial multimedia and system metadata. Okay, indeed, the extraction for the cell phone did not appear to contain text messages between the user of the phone and others, but did contain numerous images seized related to the stalking of TB. Okay. Okay. All right. So essentially, they're kind of saying they didn't get anything from the phone because the phone was in a particular state that they couldn't get anything from. I kept seeing this headline that Durk laughed. I don't know where this came from, but it says Durk laughed when they said that in court. They said, here we go. One detail said Durk reportedly laughed when prosecutors revealed they only have 4 screenshots from his seized phone because they allegedly don't have the password to access the full download. Well, that's kind of interesting. I gotta look up that state. Chat, this might be relevant for y'all to know. Let me look it up. Sorry. So what we need to look up is, what's it called? Here we go. They say the phone was in what state? Before first unlock state. What does that mean? Yeah, what does that mean, chat? Shit. I'm giving y'all a tip right here, chat. Like, you might need to put your phone in this state. Is where okay. So it looked like he powered off. So, yeah, okay. Okay, so a mobile device state where a phone has been turned on, okay, or restarted, but the user has not entered their passcode, pin, or pattern. Oh, really? I thought all the extractions could be done without even your password. But look like it's one of those where like if your phone just booted up, so right now my phone didn't just boot up. I've opened it before, but right now it's locked. So now if they were trying to get into my phone, since it's been unlocked already, it's not like in an extra encrypted state. Okay, in this highly secure mode, user-specific encryption keys remained locked away, making personal data like messages, photos, and apps inaccessible. Oh. So BFU before first unlock occurs right after reboot. Highly secure with minimal data exposed. So I'm giving y'all a tip here, Chad. Police pull you over, whatever, you got to go. First of all, if you're about to go to the precinct, do not bring your phone. But if you do got to bring your phone, cut that motherfucker off. Just cut it off. If they got to, obviously don't give up your password, but if they got to get stuff out of your phone, it's going to be 10 times harder. If, hopefully you don't do crime, but this is what it is. AFU is after first unlock occurs after the first successful password entry. Decryption keys are loaded into memory, exposing a large amount of data even when the screen is locked. Ooh, okay. Y'all learn something today, boys? So you get extra protection when you cut that shit off and, keep that in mind. All right, so apparently Durk had a little chuckle in court. If I'm him, I would probably stay away from making those type of, I think the government already has a hard-on for him. They want him. You don't want to be in court laughing at them, okay? Yeah, cut that phone off, boys. Just cut that phone off. Matter of fact, you go on a drill, you shouldn't even have your phone on you, okay? Shouldn't even have your phone on you. You better tie that bitch to like Pluto's, like tie it to your dog. Like let your dog walk around with it. You feel me? You got to go with no phone, nigga. No phone. You get what I'm saying? But I'm not trying to tell y'all how to successfully do crime, okay? Nah, not at all. Not at all. Okay, all right. So this is the current status. If we had to give a good breakdown of Durk's case. Shout out to Traplo Ross. I believe Traplo Ross is going to be in court daily doing a full-on update like how we kind of had with Milagro or we had with Lawyer for Workers when it came to Tory's case. Obviously, that was a state case. It just wasn't televised, but this is going to be a Fed case. No Fed case is actually televised. So we're going to have to rely on Traplo Ross, and we're going to see if we could get Lauren Conlon in there too. We need usually one or two voices or different POVs in terms of what's happening because, again, we're going off people's, they're taking notes, but a little bit of their biases, how they saw something, how they feel other people are feeling. So we'll see how that is. But Traplo Ross, I believe, will be on it. I want to shout out Traplo Ross. I love this new avenue he's going in with. It's fucking amazing. I can't lie. He's doing a lot of things where he's giving us these breakdowns from court. And I think it's going to help us a lot. So the last thing he had was this. Let me see if we can get to it.
Okay, I'm back with another little Durk. This federal murder for hire case. They only requested that data a month ago. And they said that, this basically they said that like this for the same reason that the courts severed the different cases. That didn't quite make sense to me. They basically said, look, we want to have our own expert inspect the phone. How can we defend these prejudicial exhibits if they're going to be taken out of context? And bear in mind, this phone was seized before Quando Rondo's cousin Lil Pab was killed in the LA murder for hire. And they basically said that this offends his due process. Now, the prosecution clapped back, and I got to say, the prosecution did a really good job today. The last time we were in there, the prosecution were floundering a little bit. This time, they were super duper on point. The prosecution were wolves today, okay? So the prosecution gave some background on what they have, and this was not great for Durk. They said that the government and the FBI requested extraction data from the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. So they said, first off, right, the extraction of the phone was created by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation in 2021. It was a Cellbrite extraction, which is like a method of extraction that we've heard in the David hearings. They basically get a whole bunch of raw data from the phone, and then they can interpret it and create a report and work out what was on the phone. This has been produced to the defense. That's what the prosecution said. They said the defense has got all of this. They know what we got from that phone. They said the phone itself, nobody has been able to unlock the phone or get into the phone or get hold of the phone. It sounds like the phone is still in the possession of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. I could have that wrong, but it sounds like the phone is still in possession of the Georgia of.
Yeah. So pretty much the last update we got. So let's look up, when does the Durk trial start? It's scheduled to start the 20th. So this coming week, I believe Friday or Thursday. It's going to be Thursday, I believe. I think the 20th. Is it 20th Thursday? It most likely will be. Yeah, it's a Thursday. So Thursday and Friday, they usually do like 2 days or 3 days to seat a jury, and then they start out fresh on Monday. So we're expecting the trial to start. We're expecting this trial to start the 24th, officially, first day, which would be, it would be 8 days from now. 8 days from now, okay? 8 days from now. That will be interesting. Yeah, that would be incredibly interesting. Chat, what do y'all think? Y'all think I should go? Really? You think so? Holy. Yeah, that would be crazy. This is going to be, I wonder how long they're assuming it's going to take. So one thing with trials where I do like, they kind of map it out really well. And they map out trials by almost saying, hey, this is how long this is going to take, right? Like it's, they have a schedule. How long is the Lil Durk trial going to last? Usually they have it on a calendar. It's expected to last 2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks, huh? I don't know, man. I might have to go stream this shit still. No. If I went, chat, I'm out every Friday. I'm not hanging out in LA, nigga. The fuck? What the hell? Oh man. No, but I would go. I'd definitely go. I would absolutely go. Should we? The only, if you're wondering why am I even contemplating about going, I don't think this is going to be a media circus compared to I don't think it's going to be a media circus compared to what happened in New York for Diddy. Like, I wouldn't even dare go out there. And it happened in New York. But that was a media circus. That was a fucking circus. I think this case with Durk, there's been times that only his girl showed up. Like, the media is they care about it, but this is not like a Diddy situation. Like, there's going to be press there, but it's probably more manageable that, like, some independent journalists like myself, Trap Lore, could probably get up in there and, be able to be in court and, Yeah, we probably could do some stuff. Let me think about this. Let me think about this for a little bit. I'll table that. I have a week to decide. Interesting. Very, very interesting.